Hey guys, Anthony Sakari here, and two special guests, my beautiful wife and
Hi.
Snowball. Snowball's here. Snowball wasn't in the first video, but this is a follow-up video to the one we made almost a year ago, which was, I bought a used Tesla, don't make this mistake. We're going to pick up our Tesla, and just so you know, before everyone attacks us and writes crazy things, we are Tesla certified Powerwall installers. We support Tesla. We market Tesla. This was just our experience in buying a Model S 2014 edition almost 1 year ago to this date, correct?
Correct.
And for everyone, we are still together, even though all the comments were pretty interesting of saying, what were they saying?
That I should leave you.
Yeah, everyone said that Bianca should leave me, which, hey, maybe at times she should, but the comments, but not because of the Tesla. Yeah, it's what can we say? But the Tesla. The comments were really rough. I mean, some of them were pretty crazy, but that's why I hope to make this video, to bring some clarification to what took place during. I mean, that first video was like 3 minutes. It was the first video I've ever posted to our channel, and I said I was going to make a follow-up video, and we got kind of busy because we became Tesla certified Powerwall installers. We run a residential solar company, and we're super pumped to be able to offer all of our customers Powerwall. So at the end of this video, we have kind of a cool thing to show you guys or to tell you about. But to start off and not get off track, the things in this video that we wanted to go over were we bought a Model S. We returned the Model S. The Model S we thought supercharged. Then it didn't supercharge, then it did supercharge, and then we found out it cannot supercharge on a regular basis. So anything else you'd add to that, or is that it?
No, you summed it up pretty well.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. But to go over what happened, we bought a Model S about a year ago. We bought it from a local dealership here. It was a 2014 Model S60 with 5,252 miles on it. So when we got there to the dealership, the car was in the bay, and I'll cut to that footage now so you can kind of check out and recollect a little bit about what the car looked like. There she is, B.
Oh wow, that's a nice blue.
So we bought the car on a Friday, and we were super pumped to get the app and everything transferred into our name. I called Tesla ahead of time. Let me just go back so people know, because this is the #1 comment is, I'm stupid, you didn't do your due diligence, you have no clue what you're doing, you shouldn't have bought a Tesla, you have no idea about Teslas, how is she still with you, what are you thinking, go buy a Jeep, you're an idiot. So it was awesome. Those range of comments were pretty impressive of everything that everybody said. But at the end of the day, I called up Tesla ahead of time before we bought this car, and I called and said, did the car supercharge? Can it supercharge? And the answer back was yes. So in this video, I'll let you know maybe why they said yes, but really it was no at the end of the day. So we saw the car on Monday. I thought it was a great deal. It was $40,000 for a Model S, and at the time the Model 3 was not available yet. That just came out this year, and that's probably the car we're going to wind up getting after all said and done. So maybe this was a blessing in disguise that it didn't work out. But what we did is we bought the car on Friday, and we went down to Tesla dealership in Paramus on Saturday because I wanted to get the car transferred into my name. I found out that we could kind of send the paperwork in to Tesla, and you know, the app will be transferred in our name in a day or two. But I was like, I wanted it now. I was like, I got this car, I want to go down there. So we left our house with like 59 miles on the car. We got to Tesla in Paramus with roughly 14 to 20 miles left on the car. We pulled it up into the bay, and I said, hey, we're here to transfer this car into my name. I was like, here's the registration, here's my driver's license, here's all our info. They're like, great, we'll do that now. And I was like, if you could just check the car over, make sure everything is good. And also I want to unlock the supercharging, because I guess I can't supercharge the car right now. There's something up with it. And as we were sitting there, the service tech comes out and he goes, yeah, this car doesn't supercharge. And my heart dropped into my stomach and I was like, are you kidding me? This car doesn't supercharge? And then Bianca was kind of laughing at me. She's like, you just bought a $40,000 paperwork, just joking around, but it was kind of like nervous energy. Like, oh my God, can I even return this car at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be our golf cart.
Yeah, it was going to be our electric $40,000 golf cart that we were driving around. But it was, we were nervous at that time. I was like, can you please check it out? I was like, I just don't understand why the car doesn't supercharge. Like, it's got to supercharge. So he said, no, it didn't. He said this car could have supercharged and it could have been upgraded when the car was bought, but it can't be upgraded now. You cannot supercharge this car. It just can't handle it. And I said, why would Tesla say it could supercharge? And he's like, I don't know why, who you talked to. I didn't talk to the dealership. I just called up the regular 800 number and gave him the VIN number. So he's like, it doesn't supercharge. So I was like, you have to draft me a letter, an email, because I have to go back to my dealership now and tell them I can't accept this car because it doesn't supercharge. So he drafted me a letter. This letter was on June 23rd, 2018, and this is the letter. Good afternoon. As per our conversation earlier today at our premise location, your Tesla Model S is unable to be upgraded to supercharging capabilities. When your vehicle was built, supercharging was an option, and unfortunately your vehicle was not built with it. Because of the configuration of the vehicle, we will not be able to upgrade the system as it does not have necessary hardware to withstand the amount of energy the supercharging network provides. Feel free to reach out to us with any questions regarding your Tesla. Anything to add to that?
No.
So I took this letter and gave it to the dealership and called them up. And I said, hey, yeah, I bought this car and I've got to return it. I was like, it doesn't supercharge and I drive more than 200 miles a day. And it would have been fine if it did supercharge, but it doesn't. And they were completely fine. They were supportive. This was one of the first Teslas they sold. And we did our homework. We didn't rely on the dealership. We called up ahead of time to make sure the car had the capabilities and could supercharge. So what happened, we called up the dealer. They wound up taking it back. They were fine with it. Luckily, we put it on a Friday. We returned it on a Saturday, so none of the registration, none of the paperwork went through because we picked it up Friday night. So my Prius was still sitting there. We returned the car. Crazy thing was when we're leaving Tesla and Paramus, we only had like 30 miles left on the car. We needed like at least 60 to get back to Poughkeepsie, right? Mm-hmm. So Tesla was super nice out in Paramus. They gave us a P85. We went to the mall, got something to eat, let the car charge for a little bit, and had like 58 miles to get home. And on our way home, we were getting close to the dealership, and we pulled into the dealership with, I think, 1 mile left on the odometer in charge. It was...
And we drove home with no air condition, no radio, no nothing.
Nothing at all. We were sweating bullets. We were like, I hope we get back. I didn't want to get a tow truck. Like, here it is. I bought this car. I'm returning this car, and then I have to get a tow truck. But we pulled in with 1 mile left. It was interesting. They took the car back, got my car. The transition was like within 5-minute time frame.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's Rocky. Is that the car?
3 miles left, and there's the dealership. We're pulling in now, guys. Blinkers on.
Pull it right to the back.
And we made it back to its home. So then
Then a week goes by.
Yeah, a week went by.
Our life went back to normal.
Yeah, everything was back to normal, and I still had the app on my phone that showed where the Tesla was, the mileage, all of those kind of things. And it's like 9:30 at night, and Bianca and I are upstairs, and we're hanging out, and I get a notification, and on my phone it says your Tesla has 20 minutes remaining on the supercharger. And I was like, what? I was like, it has 20 minutes left on the supercharger. I was like, this car can't supercharge.
Right.
So I was like, I knew where this charging station was. It was like 10 minutes down the road. We got in our car, we drove down there, we saw the car. We were blown away. The handle was in the car. It was blinking green. It was supercharging. The guy was eating dinner inside the restaurant. He comes out, he sees us looking at the car. He's got to think we were crazy at that point in time. He definitely thought we were crazy. I was like, how did you get this car to supercharge? He goes, I called up Tesla. I had no miles left on the car. And he's like, I told him I need to supercharge. So what happened was the dealership actually lent the car out as a loaner. And this guy knows nothing about Teslas, just was using it as a loaner, had no miles left on it. I guess tried to plug it in, it wasn't working, called up Tesla. He's like, literally, I screamed at them and then they unlocked it and I supercharged. So there must be like a feature in the car. I didn't do my research on that. I don't know in depth how they do that, how they can unlock it to make it available for supercharging. But putting that aside, I called up, I emailed back the guy who wrote that original email for me to go back to the dealership. And I said, thanks for the help this past week. Does this pic show that the car is supercharging? I screenshot it. I'll show it to you here. And I says, the car is supercharging. And he wrote me back. He goes, this is his email. He goes, good morning. I apologize for the response. As I was away on vacation and returned today, the photo display that your Tesla was supercharging, it was supercharging. Have you been able to continue using the supercharging system? And I was like, what? I was like, how is this happening? I was like, I need to know now if this car supercharges because I want it back if it does. It's a sweet car, 5,000 miles, and this was the only situation was it didn't supercharge. My next email back was I returned the car to the dealership and they said I was wrong because the car supercharged. I need 100% clarification if this car supercharges. How would I go about getting? I've heard 4 different stories so far. So I was calling different people in the middle of this at Tesla trying to figure out, and no one really knew an answer if it did or if it didn't because there might be a chance it does, but it doesn't. So it was a weird thing. Then I got an email back. It says, hello. The only way I'm able to confirm this is by plugging your vehicle into one of our supercharging stations and actually seeing if the vehicle charges. Do you have time to stop by our location in order for us to plug your vehicle in and verify if it charges? And my email back to him was, hey, that's what we did when I came to the dealership the first time. We plugged it in and your tech, nothing worked. The tech said it doesn't work, and then you looked it up and the car doesn't supercharge. And he writes me back, hello, that's what I remember as well, but in order to ensure that that's the case, we'll have to retest the vehicle. I'm not sure how they got the vehicle to supercharge and would be more than happy to plug your Tesla into different stalls to ensure it either works or it doesn't. And at that point in time, I'm just like blown away. I'm like, so it didn't supercharge. It did supercharge when I called up. They said it did. I bought the car, then it didn't. I gave the car back, then someone had it supercharging. And now we're saying we really don't know if it supercharges. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah, so it was like a confusion thing. And I was like, all right, I don't even care now. I'm not going to try to get this car back. Let it stay where it is. There's too much confusion around this VIN number, around this car. Something's going on with it. So just leave it at that. A month later, I got a call from someone at Tesla and they said, yeah, the car does supercharge, but we don't recommend it. It's only for like emergency situations that the car supercharges. So, and you can't upgrade the car to supercharging capabilities. And I was like, all right. I was like, I just want to let you know that I'm not the normal customer. If I was the normal customer, they probably would have been super pissed off. There probably would have been, them flipping out. They probably wouldn't have handled it the way we both handled it because we really love Tesla. We install their batteries. We have a partnership. We're certified with them. So I was like, there was a tremendous amount of miscommunication on this car, if it's supercharged or if it doesn't. And I know Tesla was in a growth stage and the main goal was trying to get cars out and business development, everything they were doing. So I didn't fault them for it because I knew running our company, I know what it's like to run a startup and not at that level that they're doing it at, but I know what it's like to have, breakdowns and communication internally. So I just told them, I was like, just something for you guys to work on because if this was a normal customer, they wouldn't take it as in stride as we are because we bought a car and then had to return the car and we kind of looked like idiots while doing it. And you guys crucified us on that first video we made, which rightfully so, we didn't give any backstory onto what happened. We were just kind of making that video in the moment as we were driving home in the Tesla, and didn't realize the response that it would get. So that's the story. That's the saga. We're going to get a Model 3. It'll happen, but it was just, I wanted to get clarification and a follow-up video to what took place for everyone that said we did not do our due diligence on that car. We did, and from this email thread, you could kind of tell the confusion that was taking place with the car.
Yeah, I almost think there was a confusion between dealerships and the actual call center.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. So there was definitely some things going on, but the reason it's been a year since we made this follow-up video is because we have some pretty cool things going on. This is our, I call it our battery cave at the home. It's our man cave, but down here we have 3 Tesla Powerwalls. We have 36 SunPower modules, and we're gonna make some more videos about that. I really haven't showed the entire system or a walkthrough of it. You'll see other videos on our channel about it, but we're gonna do like basically 1 week living off the grid with the Tesla Powerwall and SunPower panels on the roof, which is the best of both worlds. They both mix together like no other. So we'll do a follow-up video on that. But for now, we're signing out. There's nothing else to add. We're closing the book on we bought a used Tesla. Don't make that mistake. We're still going to buy a Tesla, but buying that one was for sure a mistake. But we definitely made a memory and an experience out of it. So signing out, right, B?
Bye.
Snowball, give everyone a goodbye. Snowball, tell everyone peace out. Dog pound.